My name's David Bursell, and this is the Land Rover Defender. To be British is to be brought up in a certain way. It's to get on with things and not really shout about it. It's not to make big, bold gestures. It's just to do the job, to do it well, and just keep moving forward. And that's just like this brand new Defender. It doesn't shout about itself. It's not got massive flares or arches. It's just an excellent vehicle. Very British. So it seems only right to start talking about this car from its exterior. And very clearly, it is a Defender. I mean, yes, there may be some debate about whether it's a proper Defender because it's quite different and the sea's coming in. Just gotta keep going. To be British is to keep going in adversity. So it's obviously a Defender. It's got that iconic shape, the flat back. It's a very square body. But they've done some very specific things to make sure the air travels around the body without disturbing it too much. So at the front of the car here, we've got massive air vents that travel through to make it appear as if it's actually much more round, even though it is so square. We've got huge wheels on this car, gated plastic, unfortunately, on the top. It'd be brilliant if this was aluminium, but unfortunately not. As we go down the side of the car, we can see these big wing mirrors, big vents. One of the key things that I really like about it is we've got these running black lines, top and bottom, which go all the way along the car through to, which is one of the most iconic parts of this vehicle, this piece of metal right here. And they've done this to link back to the old Defender. But also in some of the models, it's quite a functioning piece because they'll put the side luggage storage. You can get them hanging over the top of the car, and also the ladder to climb up onto the roof. So it does serve a purpose. Now, come round to the back with me. One of the most iconic things about this Defender is this massive spare tyre, coming with a full alloy on it. These are 20s on this car, and obviously if you're getting stuck somewhere, you want to have a full-size space saver, that's fantastic. So we've got that there. And then something which a lot of people are going to really notice are these brake lights. This whole section, I personally think it's a very attractive design. I mean, it's quite minimalistic, it's square, it fits with the design of the vehicle. And overall, I think it pretty much works. Now, the last thing that we've got to talk about is the front, which we're going to brave the sea in order to get. There's a brake in it. If you look at the front of this car, it is mean, it is aggressive, it's quite muscular, and I think it's a very, very good looking vehicle. It's big though, isn't it? This vehicle is 5 meters long. 5 meters and 2 meters tall. Mind your feet. It's 5 meters long, 2 meters tall, and it is wide, but it is beautiful. Let me know in the comments what you think. Oh mate, this looks so nice. Right, I'm gonna have a little play on this rock bit, but if we're taking this off road, I'm just gonna have to flick this into auto terrain response, and then let's see how it is on these big rocks that's basically the sea. Easy. This is comfortable. Soft rocks underneath us and just effortlessly gliding over the top to this beautiful little lookout here. Not bad. So whilst we're here, it seems like the perfect opportunity to show you the interior of this wonderful Defender 110. And first impressions are that it has been very well put together. All of the materials are very good quality, the build quality's there, and it's very lovely to look at, but you don't feel precious about it. Everything is kind of big and chunky, and like there's grab handles everywhere. There's these and there's here and here, and everything, it's like rugged, but it's also very beautiful. I think this is a very well put together, thought through interior. We've got plug sockets here and here and here. We've got 4 in the back, 1 on every chair, and 3 in the boot. And then in the center of it is this console. We've got the screen here, which is a beautiful kind of matte finish. It controls your satellite navigation, connects to your phone, Apple CarPlay, all of your heated seats, all of the information on your Eco Pro mode, your 4x4 information, all that kind of stuff is here on this screen, and it's very easy to use and it's very easy to read as well, which is very important. Then coming down, we've got some buttons. I think too often now cars are trying to go for the touchscreen thing constantly. Having these buttons I really like. It's got some key information, they're very big. Even if you're a bit clumsy like me, you're going to get the right thing in there. And this is nice, I like this, very well put together. Then in front of me is the dash. Yeah, another big screen with a wonderful matte finish on it, and it's broken down into 3 areas. On the left hand side you have all your music information, in the middle is your speedo and rev counter, and then on the right hand side we've got your satellite navigation, which plays next to it as well. So you do have both screens going at the same time, which is excellent. And I mean, in this one, this is the first edition, we've got a fridge, and it keeps your water cold. When do cars ever do that? But yes, overall, very well put together, great quality products, great quality materials, and I wouldn't feel precious about it. Even though it's a beautiful car, even though it is relatively expensive, I think this would be a fantastic family car and potentially the ultimate road trip vehicle, because it is massive. You could fit 4 fully grown men in this car with all of your stuff in the boot piled up to the roof and skis and snowboards on the top. I think this is excellent, to be honest. So now we've had a little chance to look at the interior. I want to see what the car's like off-road. These pebbles are nothing. Let's get to some mud. All right, so we've made it to the farm. It's an alpaca farm, beautiful animals, and we're gonna have a little play. But before we do that, I've got to get this car set up for off-road mode, so which means raising up the suspension, which is done by pressing just a simple little button here on the dash, and you see the car rises up. Sideways. Oh my God. So we've just had a little bit of a play. That was all fun and games, but if we're actually going to go off-road, we need to have the car set up in the right setting for maximal traction, which means changing the controls down here. So if I press this button, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select grass, gravel, snow, because we are playing on the grass, and it says activate low traction launch. Yes, we definitely want that. That means the car is going to help me to get going if I get stuck on a hill, which is fantastic. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in low range mode, so just by pressing this button here, and the car is in neutral, and then we're going to go into low range selected, and there we go. So this Defender's got hill descent assist, which basically means you get to an edge, you point it down the hill, you take your hands, well not your hands, put your feet off the pedals, and the car will just gently take you down the hill, no dramas. All right, steep slope, grass, 2,500 kilo truck. Will it go up a hill from a stationary start? I think this is too easy. We need to find something harder. Alright guys, enough driving in circles. Let's go to the pub. Alright, so I've heard there's a beautiful little pub called The Sloop in Porthgain, so we're heading there now, and it's given me the perfect opportunity to talk about the new Defender on the road, because let's be honest, the old Defender on the road was, well, shocking. So what's this new one like? Completely different. I'll be honest, I've been driving this car for almost 1,000 miles now. I've been very lucky to be given it by Rybrook Land Rover up in Conwy, and it has been a pleasure to drive. At low speeds, the steering is very light. It's easy to maneuver around a car park. There's 360 cameras all over the place. So even if I can't see when I'm reversing out of a space, there's a camera which shows me down the road, allowing me to safely remove myself from the car parking spot. Anyway, I digress. Now we're traveling at speed, the car feels planted, it feels safe, secure. I'm confident in everything that's happening. You know, we're here on a back road doing 60 miles an hour, the national speed limit, and it's comfortable, it's smooth. All the bumps are being taken out of the road and I'm relaxed. It's a very lovely place to be, I'm not gonna lie. I actually was anticipating that I'd be rolling from side to side, but the way that this car handles and the way that it feels when I'm driving is actually just brilliant, to be honest. On the motorway, we've got cruise control, we've got adaptive headlights, my wing mirrors dip when there's a car next to me so that I don't get blinded by the light. We've got a mirror that also turns into a camera so I can see behind me with brilliant vision even in the dark. We've got the tech in here, the air conditioning is just so, the navigation you saw is absolutely fantastic, crystal clear screens, it's brilliant. So it really begs the question of, would you need to have a sportier, faster car than this? And I don't really think you would. This one's got a 2-litre twin turbocharged diesel engine making 240 horsepower, and that'll get you from 0 to 60 in under 9 seconds. I don't think you need to go much faster than that, to be honest. It cruises nice on the motorway. I feel comfortable and secure on the back roads. It stops, well, it stops. Now you've noticed that I've been relatively positive about this car, and don't get me wrong, I think it is excellent, but there are a few little things which would be there to make it better, and one of them is the brakes. Unfortunately, the brakes, there's just no feeling in them. There's like no braking, no braking, no braking, then all of a sudden that happens. Not ideal. And I'm trying to be smooth, I'm trying to be just that incremental braking, but it is quite hard to get that smooth braking. So that is one thing that I would like Land Rover to improve, perhaps the next one. And the other things, I'll be honest, I'm really trying to find things here. There's cruise control. It'd be great if it was adaptive. If it was radar guided, that would be fantastic. Then you could just sit on the motorway. And the other thing is the lane assist. It's not really lane assist as such as it just shouts at you when you go over the lane without indicating. I drove I think it was like a Toyota Yaris or like a small Toyota car in Australia once, and the lane assist was so good, it would basically drive you around corners in the middle of the lane. It was fantastic. But yeah, apart from that, this doesn't feel like a 4x4. This doesn't feel like a 2,300 kilo, 5 meter long truck. It feels like a regular car. And I think for Land Rover to be taking so much time to put together this vehicle, and it had such big boots to fill, it definitely fills them off-road. I think it definitely fills them in the looks department. The interior quality is fantastic, and it drives, I don't know, like a 5 Series? Pretty excellent, to be honest. So normally when you're driving this car, it turns itself into comfort mode, which is how you'll normally be going from A to B. But if you do happen to flick it into eco mode, like this, by using some tomfoolery down here, the car gets so smooth. The gear changes are almost seamless. You can barely tell. It changes gear at much lower RPM to save fuel, and if you're driving around the city, it's how I've been doing it driving around London. I've been putting it in eco mode. It pulls off really smooth, changes gear early, you save petrol, protect the environment, save the polar bears, and you get a wonderfully smooth, almost chauffeur-driven ride. Another reason I love this car. There you go, mate. Well, cheers. What an excellent time I've had driving this new Defender. To compare it to the old Defender would be wrong. They're the completely different vehicles, nothing really alike, only a slight subtle nods in the styling, but completely different. Overall, what I'm taking from it is it kind of does everything. Looks great, good to drive on the road, clearly well placed off-road as well. Is it the best value car you could buy? Not cheap, but you do get a lot for your money. Cheers.